Hi, this is Miss Ellingson. Hopefully, you've heard an advisory, some tips and tricks for the ACT and why it is important to try to do well on the ACT. Now, in your science classes, we're going to spend 6 little mini sessions with your current teacher to help you prepare for the science ACT. So I'm going to go over some overview tips and practice with you. So today is kind of an overview and the first tip, and then we'll do lots of practice later and give you reasons why they picked the correct answer, and then some resources, and then some extra practice if you would like. So the ACT science exam, what to expect. The mindset for the exam assesses science skills, not content. So, the first tip we're going to go over today is to read the question first and then find the information in the passage. The answers are found in the prompt, just like ACT writing. The ACT science exam is 40 multiple choice questions in 35 minutes. Expect to see 7 to 6 passages with authentic science research and data and conflicting viewpoints. Each passage will be written and might be accompanied by data, graphs, and charts with those multiple choice. Doing the math, that means you have 53 seconds per question, meaning having a strategy is key to success. Now, mindset is key. The good and bad news is that the Science ACT does not test your scientific knowledge. Taking more classes in science does help, but it shouldn't hinder you as well. Instead, the ACT assesses the skills needed to be a good scientist. You need to be able to look at charts and graphs and be able to make interpretations, evaluations, reasoning, and problem solving from these experiments. So they're going to give you a passage with authentic scientific scenarios with writing and then a graph or chart, some kind of data. Sometimes it's just hypotheses, and then you need to answer the questions. So, can you answer science questions you know nothing about? Maybe you never took physics. Could you still answer a physics question? The answer is yes. You should be able to look at the question, identify the key parts that you're looking for to answer the question correctly. So it's helpful if you have a positive mindset. So some of the prompts will have science content you've never seen before. It might be earth science, it might be astronomy. So you're going to see terms that you've never seen before. So don't let that terminology stop you from answering the questions or get you flustered or tripped up. Just make sure you read what they're asking for and answer the questions. So over here on the right is a quick sample. So which group has the most cogons? Doesn't matter if you know what cogons are or not, you should be able to come down and see that group D has the most with 38. So the answers again are in the prompt. So you're going to have a question and the answers will be found in the prompt. So keep a positive mindset that you can do this. Now, let's look at a sample passage. So I cut and pasted a sample passage from the ACT. So on the left, it is a chemistry experiment. We're looking at compounds that are made up to help de-icers. Again, you don't need to know what a de-icer is, but from this climate, you might know it helps um, get rid of the ice on roads and surfaces so it's not as slippery. So, the first thing you're going to notice is that the passage is on the left-hand side, and you'll be able to scroll up and down on the passage. And then you're going to be able to click forward on each question. You will see the same passage on the left for 4 to 7 questions. And then you'll have a question on the right with the um, multiple choice answers. You will also have a highlighting and underlining tool that you could use as well on the passage to help you identify things as well. So, but I would say the first tip is to read the question, then go back to the passage. The passage may be long, and you only have 53 seconds, so it is important that you just use some time-saving techniques. One is to read the passage, find the important information, and then go find that in the passage. So, for example, our question is according to figure one, so it's important that we find figure one. So this is from the previous page. It was a pretty long passage, but we could identify figure one. And then it gives me some more information. It says any submergent time after 0 days. So on the x axis, there is submersion time in days from 0 to 600 days. They said, what is the order of the de-icers? Greatest average percentage change to the least average. So on the left-hand side, you'll see on the y-axis average length change. And then you see in our little key some de-icers, the chemical compounds of the de-icers. Um, so what you need to do is be able to read the graph and be identified that there the dot, the square, the solid square, and then the open dot go from greatest to least, and identify those compounds in order on the multiple choice answers. So even though it's been 29 years since I've done chemistry and compounds, I can answer this question. You can answer this question just by being able to read the graph. Also notice they also have a distractor in here. This one is ranked from the least to the greatest. So on a half sheet of paper with your current science teacher, write down one thing you didn't need to know to answer the question we just did. Write down two things you did need to know to answer the question, and three things you will remember to do during the exam. In our next session, I will take a lot more time to go through three examples. That was very brief, just to give you an overview of what it's going to look like when you do the ACT online. And then we're going to do practice together, and I'll go over why the answers that were correct by looking at the passage.